Hey everyone, today I am back in Lost Ark to briefly talk about my plans for the upcoming patch, which is going to be seeing the release of the Breaker class alongside a Power Pass and some Express events. Currently, I am planning on making a Breaker because, well, it's the only class that can still use a Power Pass for me at this point, but when it comes down to the Express event, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing with that just yet. Currently, there are two options. One, use it on Breaker, or two, use it on my Machinist. Now, when it comes down to Breaker, it is a class that I have some interest in trying out. The Asura Breaker playstyle looks to be pretty fun. However, the little bit of a caveat that I have with Asura is its identity state. Now, I've played a lot of Destroyer, so I know that front attacking is kind of fun in this game, and having some defensive stuff to allow you to tank through hits is something that I do enjoy quite a bit. Being able to use your tenacity, paralysis immune, or other things like hypergravity mode and such to just tank through hits is something that is really fun. But when it comes down to Breaker, the hypergravity mode, I guess you could say the punch mode, is something that is very integral to its gameplay. Now, for me personally, I have mostly played Rage Hammer Destroyer, so not the hypergravity one, although I have played around with it. But for me, when I play my Destroyer, it is fun to utilize all of the defensive stuff in your kit to tank through stuff, and then when you run out, hypergravity mode is a really nice thing to fall back on, to just activate it for a couple seconds, bonk on the boss until it is safe to leave that mode again, and then just go back to your general playstyle of building up your cores and then whacking the boss over the head with your hammer. With Breaker, on the other hand, the Asura playstyle at least, the punch mode is a very integral part to your damage output. So I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it just not being a tool for me to allow to face tank things, but just to be an actual DPS tool that I want to use as much as possible. Now, I do know it's a little bit faster than hypergravity mode, you don't spend as much time in it, and there's also a lot of things outside of that going on as well, because it takes about, I think, 30 to 40 seconds to build up your identity gauge in the first place, so maybe it doesn't really feel too bad, and it's going to be quite fun. So for me, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using my Power Pass on Breaker, going to try out Asura as much as I can, just doing some Guardian raids, maybe do like Belshazzar on normal mode, maybe Valtham Vicus, who knows, to kind of see how I feel about its playstyle, and if I then enjoy the playstyle enough, then I will use my Express event on it to get it to 1580 and then eventually leveled up from there as well, because I do believe we're going to be getting like bonus materials again, like the Path to Soul Eater, so getting up to Volda's normal mode shouldn't be too big of a stretch either to do in just a couple of weeks. Now, if I do not end up enjoying Breaker, then I'm just going to be using the Express event on my Artetinian technology Machinist. Machinist is a class that I've had since it released. I played Evolutionary Legacy for the longest of time, but since I think 2 or maybe even 3 balance patches ago already, I ended up switching it over to Artetinian technology. I played the 4 yellow build at first, wasn't really meshing with me that well, but ever since I switched over to the 3-3-2 build, I've actually been enjoying that class quite a bit. So it's fierce competition. It's kind of like a class that I know I enjoy already versus a new shiny toy that is just coming out that I have no experience on yet. So it's kind of difficult to choose. Now, if anything were to happen and I do enjoy playing Breaker and I end up using my Express event on it, but I don't like it in the long run, then my Machinist is kind of a fallback option, I guess, because he does have a whole lot of bound materials lying around already, enough that he can most likely just get to 1580 on those bound materials alone, and I just have to invest the gold cost for the honing as well as the fusion materials. So those are kind of my thoughts on it so far. Breaker looks fun, King's Fist not so much, Asura's Path looks interesting, so that's the one that I'm going to be trying out. If I like it enough, I'm going to be using my Express event on it. If not, I'm going to be boosting my Machinist. If I do boost the Breaker and I don't really like it that much, I'll just level up the Machinist instead. I'm just manually doing so after the fact, because I do want to replace one of my main gold earners right now, which is my sorceress. Sorceress is a class that lately I just haven't really been enjoying that much. The Igniter playstyle, while it has the high highs, the low lows, it just doesn't really feel that great at the moment to play for me, and when it comes down to playing Reflux, you have to deal with Nightmare, which has its own set of problems as well, which is why I've kind of wanted to go away from sorceress for now until they maybe fix the nightmare set, or if they make some other changes to reflux orc or something like that, because current me kind of enjoys the more sustained DPS classes like Empress Arcanist, Wind Fury Aeromancer, Taijutsu Scrapper. Those kind of classes I enjoy quite a bit right now, so that is why I kind of went away from Igniter's orc to Reflux orc. But even Reflux I'm not really enjoying that much at the moment, even though it performs just fine, like the damage output is okay. It's just that the gameplay isn't always there, so that is why I currently want to replace my Sorc with the new character that is getting express evented. Whether that's Breaker or Machinist just remains to be seen. If I do boost the Breaker and I don't like it and I end up making it a low pang, then I do want my Machinist to kind of take the spot that my Sorc is currently in, because I do want to rotate my Sorc out of my main roster for now. Maybe after another balance patch or so, we'll see if something ends up changing to that. But for now, that is kind of my plan as to what I want to do in the new patch. So Breaker, really looking forward to trying it out. Looks to be really fun. Pretty strong class as well for those that are meta chasers. I'm not really one of those, but still, I want to give it a try because it's something new, and new things are always fun to learn. If I don't like it, Machinist is going to be the next one that is getting some love from me finally, because he has been waiting for it way too long. But that's pretty much everything I want to go over in this video. Let me know what your thoughts are on Breaker. Are you going to be making one as well, or are you going to be using your power pass on something else? Let me know down below, and with that I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.